They say friends are the family we choose. I believed that with all my heart. For years, I trusted my best friend more than anyone else in the world. But the day I discovered he had stolen everything from me was the day I learned that betrayal doesn't come from strangers. It comes from the ones closest to you. We had been inseparable since childhood. We grew up together, went to the same schools, even dreamed about starting a business side by side. When I finally saved enough to open a small cafe, he was the first person I brought in. I told him, "This is ours. We'll build it together." He smiled, shook my hand, and said he'd never let me down. At first, things were good. We worked long nights, laughed during the struggles, and celebrated every small success. I trusted him completely, so I handed him control of the finances. Why wouldn't I? He was my brother in everything but blood. But slowly, things didn't add up. Suppliers started calling, saying bills weren't paid. The cash register came up short more often than not. When I asked him, he always had an excuse. A mistake, a delay, a mix-up. I wanted to believe him. I ignored the warning signs, until one night I stayed late to close up. I checked the records myself, and the truth hit me like a knife to the chest. Thousands of dollars were missing. Transfers had been made from our account to his personal one. And the worst part? It had been happening for months. My so-called best friend wasn't helping me build my dream. He was bleeding it dry. When I confronted him, he didn't deny it. He just looked me in the eyes and said, "You wouldn't have made it this far without me. I deserve more. Why should you get all the credit?" Those words shattered me. He wasn't just stealing money, he was stealing years of trust, loyalty, and brotherhood. I wanted to lash out, to throw him out right then and there. But instead, I stayed calm. I smiled, and I set my revenge into motion. Over the next few weeks, I quietly gathered evidence, bank statements, signed receipts, messages, everything I needed to prove what he had done. Then I pretended nothing was wrong. I let him keep stealing, while I played the fool who trusted him. What he didn't know was that I had already spoken to the police, that I had already met with lawyers, that every dollar he took was another nail in his own coffin. Finally, when the time was right, I invited him out for dinner. Over a drink, I told him how grateful I was for everything he had done. He smiled, smug and confident. But when he got home that night, the police were waiting at his door. Embezzlement, fraud, theft. He was arrested on the spot. The look on his face as they dragged him away was burned into my memory. Shock, betrayal, fear, the same things he had made me feel. He lost everything, his reputation, his freedom, his so-called pride. And me? I rebuilt my business stronger than before, without him poisoning it from the inside. Because betrayal may hurt, but revenge heals. My best friend stole from me. He thought he was clever, but in the end, he learned the hardest lesson of all. When you betray someone who gave you everything, you lose everything.